Okay. All right. So we are done with
System setup.
System setup. We've got everything pretty much set up. We got our characters set up, and we are going to get into this thing. All right. So just for the purposes of recording this and getting it all down, let's do a quick introduction of the stuff. We have a whole bunch of truths and stuff for this setting.
Who's Kiss Kiss?
I just came up with random call signs, and Kiska Kuz, Kiz Kuz sounds like Kiss Kiss. So I was trying to think of just call signs that you might have been assigned or something like that.
Yeah. I don't get this.
Ka-zari.
Carly Nazari is Ka-zari.
And am I the only one who came up with my own call sign?
That's correct.
Ka-zari.
GAP stands for generic
Augmented person.
Generic augmented person. Okay. So, quick introduction to the characters. You want to tell us about Kiska?
She has a sprite named Neil, who is a crystalline fox. She is the path of gunner and empath.
The sprite's not showing up on the screen right here because they pushed a patch that was weird and the fix hasn't gone through yet, but it'll show up right on the screen.
She's stern looking. She's got some long hair, some strange facial tattoos.
Cool.
She's got her sniper visor. She's sarcastic and blunt. People tend to like her.
And she's an ancient descendant of the Russians.
Yes. Kiska.
First time in New York?
My first time in New York.
Tell us about Gap. I mean, come on, the picture actually looks okay from this resolution.
From far away, yes.
It's a start.
It's a start.
He is an augmented weapon master. His home was wiped out by creepy space monstrosities.
What is your? I'm going to go back to Kaylee and ask about this. Tell us what was your vow? Your core vow?
My core vow is to expose the 5 families for their deep corruption around the colonies and remnant-tech.
The founder families. That's or founder clans. That's what we ended up going with. And then Sean, what was your quest thingy?
To learn to control remnant biomonstrosities.
Learn to control the remnant biomonster. I'm sure that'll go really well.
Yeah.
It seems like it'll go really well. And finally, Carly Nazari, the daughter of the Nazari crime family. What have you got for assets and stuff?
I have a combat bot. When I was.
What did we end up calling him? What did you finally settle on? Because there's a space to write that in. Is it Moof or is it?
I like Moof.
Or was it Cupcake or no? Do you have a spot for him to write? Oh yeah, you do have a spot to write. All right. So what do you want to call him?
Fuzz Fuzz.
Fuzz Fuzz.
Fuzz Butt? What?
Fuzz Fuzz.
Fuzz Fuzz?
Fuzz Fuzz.
Okay, Fuzz Fuzz. Fuzz Fuzz. So your combat bot's been around you since you were a little kid, and you named it when you were a little kid, and his name is Fuzz Fuzz. Their name is Fuzz Fuzz. The combat bot, I actually have
Did you just assume the gender of that combat bot?
Yeah, I did.
When I was 2, I called him Fuzz Fuzz.
Because he
was my nanny, and I have my 2 paths are Shade and Archer.
Hang on, change this guy's name to Fuzz Fuzz.
Fuzz Fuzz.
Fuzz Fuzz up here.
Yeah, Shade and Archer, so you can draw in energies around you. We do have magic in this setting for this one, so there's magical type, Star Warsy type magic. So Zoe's character who can pull in. Oh, Fuzz Fuzz is very small in space.
Fuzz Fuzz! Oh my gosh!
Fuzz has grown intergalactic.
So
Fuzz does not like paradox.
Pop, 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 bang, bang, bang. All right. So, you can summon shadows around you, and Kaylee's Kiska is a empath. Sean has no special psychic abilities that we are aware of, and is just fine with that.
Yeah, we're aware of.
He's got legs.
He has a brain. We're reasonably certain.
For now.
Wow. Wow.
Sit down.
Good handles.
All right, so that's our crew. We have the ship. What's the name of the ship?
The caboodle.
The Capoodle. Capoodle's a lovely ship. Lowl won it in a bet. The outside, it's not in perfect shape. The outside's marred with rust and grimy. Interior corridors are crowded with exposed wiring and conduits. So it's a little...
I was gonna try
But it does...
to re-roll and not have it be garbage.
The Starship features are... I mean, you got some of the good results. The Starship features are meant to be things to give it some character. And it's...
I'm gonna.
What was the best result you could get?
Oh, I don't know about best result. One of them that I remember distinctly is that there's a blood stain in the airlock that comes back no matter how many times you wash it away. Like,
Yeah, you see, that would be awesome.
well, I'll see about
Your
making that
definition
happen.
of awesome is very strange.
It's very different. And so the Capoodle, right here, lovely Capoodle, got our little ship thing. We'll talk. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can. Can I ping this thing, or is it gonna be weird? There we go. All right, so we have. This is the area here where you've got like a viewport out right here. There's a couple of like pilot seats and weapons system control. Well, like communications controls and sensors and stuff. We got an escape hatch right here. Over in number 3 here is the ship's computer life support systems. Whoops, closing these down here. We have 1, 2, 3 full-sized
Bedrooms.
staterooms. 6 is like a med bay sort of thing. 7 is the common room. 8 is
What's a common room?
this like a
Living room.
this is a common room right here where we are. A place to like cook food and stuff like that. 8 is countermeasure suite, and basically everything back here. 11, 12, 13, this whole area, like both sides here are basically engines and stuff. We got the jump drive back over in this area. And then back down this hallway, 10 is this 10 here is a hatch that lets you up to the turrets that are right here. And that back here in the back, right here in the back end, is a cargo bay area that you can jam full of stuff. And then the back end opens up folds out into a ramp, kind of like on the back side of the Razorback.
Or to,
Yeah, you could jam stuff into it if you wanted to.
including people.
Theoretically, you could fit like 3 or 4 more people in here if you really wanted to. But
And then we have
Anyway.
SAS, and then we have our AI
Yep, and
SAS.
the ship is
1S.
at least partially managed by SAS. Our AI, it is an AI computer, but the ship has been fitted in most places with holographic generators that lets her sort of walk around. Or at least interact physically, give you something to look at instead of sort of looking blindly up at the ceiling and talking to nothing. You have like an actual person. So this is
Although sometimes the holographer like bugs out.
yep.
SAS.
This is how
You
SAS.
don't have a head again.
This is how SAS presents themselves most of the time. We also have another picture of the
SAS probably understands what gender pronouns are.
another picture. Of course they do. Another picture of the Capoodle in full
Capoodle glory.
in full Capoodle glory with there's a viewport right there, all that kind of good stuff. So what we also did was the system itself. This place is Sulaku Pit is a bit of a pit. It's in the Terminus region, but this particular sector is a bit of a mess. Pinnacle Station is probably the most normal one in that it is a space station or a series of space stations in orbit around a Jovian gas giant.
But the space stations are made of dead space crustaceans.
Organic, well, it's made of organic materials. It conjures into a person's a human looking at it immediately thinks crab, but it's really more of a clam crab, just the body but with the legs torn off sort of thing. What it is recovered remnant-tech. It's useful because it's floating in perfect orbit. These things are floating in perfect orbit around this gas giant. It's habitable, and it seems to require no power whatsoever to stay up. So we get a free space station. It's awesome.
And
Unfortunately, the humans who live on the station tend to get sick. It is where we're starting because one of our contacts there, Ria Mihara, also known as Omega, sort of a semi-retired Ironsworn, has a job for you, and you are there to. Yeah, please don't make a bunch of extra random noise while we're recording stuff. The other systems, notably Paradox, a desert world, dozens of settlers, many scattered over many locations, marginal atmosphere. The focus there is pretty much on subsistence and trying to expand. Reprise, the planet's name is Tartarus. Dozens of settlers, again, focused on salvage of what? I'm not sure. Possibly their original terraforming equipment that obviously didn't work. And evacuation. The planet boasts corrosive atmosphere and a corrupted storm that sweeps across the planet.
It's a heavy volcanic activity.
Yeah, heavy volcanic activity and all that kind of. And finally, Solitude, which doesn't have an easy route to it from any of the other worlds, but does have a drift route out of the sector. It's a tainted world, tens of thousands of people on it, largely because of the resources that they want off of it. Its two main focuses are raiding the precursor vaults that are scattered around the planet and engineering drugs from the toxic atmosphere that also appears to be hallucinogenic for humans. So the whole place it's not technically a toxic world, it's a tainted world, and it's apparently been tainted by the fact that it was at some point in time heavily inhabited by some precursor race that did a lot of work on it and it left it in, well, it's a shambles for humans. It might have been a vacation planet for, you've got ponds that will literally engulf you like a gelatinous cube.
Gelatinous swimming pools.
Thorny vines that will sweep over a habitation unit within hours. It's a nasty place, and it's where you're going first because Ria Mahara, Omega, has a job for you. Basically, one of the founder clans sent a group, a party, a contingent to Solitude from outside the sector to raid one of the precursor vaults. And they haven't checked in. This is usually not going to be anybody's problem because some people came, some founder family came here from outside, decided to do something stupid, and they're going to get killed for it. That's usually fine, except in this case, since they disappeared, apparently they had a lot of investment in it. There's a good chance, apparently a really good chance, that founder families are going to send somebody here or possibly increase their presence in the sector and cause everybody a whole bunch of headaches because they want to find out what happened.
Can I do a technicality?
So she would like to get you guys to find them before everything goes to pieces with the five families showing up. So you guys all have different reasons for going there. Kiska has got an issue with the founding clan, so wants to find out more about it, more stuff about it, and figure out how to expose them for all of the corruption and the stupid stuff that they're doing with precursor stuff. You got to deal with the precursor vaults in general.
Can I do a technicality?
What's a technicality?
Technically, Solitude is one of the settlements. The actual planet is named
Thurnic, right. The planet's name is, which I can, you know what, let me update that real quick so I don't forget. So the first thing, and I'm going to give you these sheets here, although we don't necessarily need to worry about them too much. These are the move sheets. There are a lot more moves in this game than there are typically in like other Powered by the Apocalypse games that we've played, but you don't need to worry about most of them most of the time. So they only the ones that you're actually using right now are the ones that we're really going to worry about. But here we are. All right. So what we need to do first, Ria Mahara needs you to swear your iron vow. Totems out. Come on, people. Let's move.
What are our totems?
So they're little. So what we decided, and this is the other thing that I really kind of think is cool, is that what you swear upon for as an Ironsworn is a some sort of token, totem, whatever. Hanging out, usually on your neck, or maybe affixed to a piece of body armor that you always wear, or something like, usually not that, but whatever. That's a piece of black iron that was made by precursors. Nobody really necessarily knows how to simulate it at this point.
Nobody knows how to create.
So it's rare when you can find it in precursor vaults. We decided it was like, it has that kind of rare valuableness that you see of Beskar in like the Mandalorian, and I guess to a lot less degree in Boba Fett. It's all, I mean, Mandalorian is all about the Beskar. They talk about it all the time, and it doesn't really come up in Boba Fett very much, does it? Where they're like, we want to take your armor and sell it. They're a little bit busier with other stuff. But with Mandalorian, it's definitely a big deal. So the black iron is kind of this rare thing. So, Omega, she's pulling out hers. She's like, come on, you guys know what to do. Who's swearing the vow for you?
For all of us?
You do it.
It's like a shared vow.
Sean, do it. You
All right, so let's look at the move. All right, you guys want to? Shall we look at the move?
Yes.
All right. Back side of the quest moves. Second page, the second full page, the one that's labeled number 3. See that? Right at the top. Quest moves. Swear an iron vow. When you swear upon iron to complete a quest, you swear that you're going to complete a quest. Write your vow and give it a rank, and then you roll plus heart. If you swear this vow to a connection, which she is, you get to add +1 to the roll. If you share a bond, you can add +2. You do not share a bond. She is just a connection. So let's take a look at I'm going to track this on here, if that's okay. I'm going to put it on the sheet here. Vows. Oh, look at that. I got vows right here in the shared sheet. So we'll do this. This will be the stuff that everybody has going on. All right. So vows. What are we going to call this? We're going to rescue Founder Clan idiots from Precursor Vault on Solitude. So now, what level of difficulty do we think this is? Troublesome is something that's going to be over in just a couple of challenges.
Dangerous.
All right. Dangerous, it takes... You wouldn't want to do it with less than having accomplished at least 3 things. 4 would be better. 5 would be ideal. Formidable is going to take a bit of work. But we're going to have the opportunity. It all depends on how dangerous we think this precursor vault that we got into is going to be.
I'd say probably dangerous or formidable. Definitely not troublesome.
No, troublesome's too low, I think, for something like this. Dangerous would be okay, but it wouldn't be really that hard. Formidable would be a pretty good challenge starting out. That would be a pretty good toughie to...
I mean, checking out what we've done with the things inside precursor vaults, I think it would be formidable.
All right, let's set this one at formidable.
AKA,
and that means every time that you accomplish anything towards this goal, when you mark a thing, it fills in 1 box. The idea is to fill in as many of the boxes as you can, but the quest gets a little bit more challenging as you progress.
So making progress gets harder and harder.
Yeah, it gets a little bit more challenging. That's kind of your choice. Like, that's what they somewhat suggest a little bit. Here and there, you see that. If you're doing, like, in Ironsworn, if you're doing a delve, like the delve encounters and stuff like that get more challenging the further in you go. When you swear an iron vow to complete a quest, write your vow and give it a rank. So we've done that. We've written the vow. We've given it a rank. The rank is formidable. I'm going to clear out that thing there.
Yeah, we can't.
And then we roll and add heart. So what you're doing, Zoe, what's your heart?
2.
Oh, 2. You are not the worst person to roll for this. That would be Sean.
Yes.
Yes.
So grab your dice. Now, I don't know if you remember, it's been a while since we played Ironsworn, but how this works is you roll your 6 and your 2 10s. You don't pay any attention to your 10s. You don't add anything to your 10s. They're just separate numbers. You take your 6 and you add your heart to it. But you also get to add 1 because you're swearing your vow to Omega, and you have a connection with her. So she gives you a +1. Okay? So you're adding a total of 3 onto your roll. Why don't you give us our first roll of the game and see how it's going to go? All right. Don't worry about the 10s right now, although that's not great. All right. So you have a 5 plus 3 is what? 8. And what are your 2 challenge dice?
1 and 9.
Let me see that one.
7 and 9. 7 and 9.
A 7 and a 9, and you got an 8.
So confused.
Okay, so what did you get? 8. You got an 8. And then you compare this. This competes against these other 2. Think of this as like the enemy dice, all right? So this competes. Did you beat a 9? No. Did you beat a 7? All right, you have to beat these dice. So she beat one. She didn't beat the other. So there's 3 ways that the results can go out. You beat none of them. That sad trombone sound. You beat one, but not the other one. That's what we call a weak hit. All right.
Which is what happened.
And that's what happened. That's a weak hit. And actually, there's 5 results you can get. That's when you get a weak hit. And if you beat both the dice, that's a strong hit. Okay. Now that's 3 possible results. The other 2 results are sort of the same thing. The other 2 results happen when the 2 challenge dice, these 2 10s, are the same number. So if you got so let me give you an example. I'll give you 2 examples. So if you got 2 7s, so you got doubles, and did you beat a 7?
Yes.
So that's doubles, and you won. So a strong hit, that's called a strong hit with a match. Okay? A strong hit with a match is like a crit. Awesome stuff happens. It's great. Opportunities, all kinds of stuff. That's one thing that can happen. The opposite would be, instead of double 7s, we get double 9s. Double 9s is a miss with a match. That is, you fail, and I've been given the explicit instructions to make it hurt.
Sad tubas.
Sad tubas.
But the tuba players are beating you up as they're playing.
Yes, that's the 5 levels of possible dice results. Miss with a match, regular old miss, weak hit, which is probably going to be the most common one.
Wow, I'm weak.
Well, no, that's what it's called. A strong hit and a strong hit with a match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we swore an iron vow. Now we look at the sheet, and it tells us what to do on a weak hit. When you swear upon iron to complete a quest, write your vow and give it a rank, then roll plus hard. On a weak hit, you're determined, but you begin your quest with a few more questions than answers. Take +1 momentum and envision what you do to find a path forward.
Ooh, +1 momentum.
Okay. So since no, not you. Since Zoe rolled on this one, she's the one who gets the momentum roll. Now, the nice thing about momentum is you can burn the momentum. I don't know if you guys remember this. Please sit down. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the momentum, what that does is you can use it, and it will negate all of the challenge dice that are rolled against you that are lower than that momentum. Okay? So if you have your momentum up to 10 and you get beat by double 9s, you can burn your momentum and erase those 9s. It doesn't give you a strong hit with a match, but it does erase those 9s and make you at least get a success. So it's a way to turn a failure into some kind of success, assuming that your momentum is built up enough. So your momentum changes a bunch. Well, it's the kind of thing where, like, once your momentum's at 10, find a way to burn it, because having it sit up there and not doing anything with it, even if it's like, oh, I don't want to burn it for a weak hit, or I don't want to burn it just to do what, like, burn it, because having it sit there and not doing anything is not doing anything. Unless you're getting strong hits all on your own. All right. She goes, you guys swear the vow, and then what did we say we do with the black iron when we finish the vow and we we
take it off,
Playing it.
like say necklace, take the necklace off and
whack it on something so it chimes. Bong. Yeah. And she kind of looks at all of you like, oh God, you're all so young. All right. Maybe supply up. You're going to Solitude. It's a hellhole. You can get supplies here. Oh, and God, where are these? And she now that she's got her room smells different than the rest of the station. Like, it smells cleaner somehow.
And that's saying.
And she hands you like some breath masks. So just wear these on the station. Not everybody does, but believe me, the masks help with the sickness.
Is this a COVID run?
Hashtag COVID. Anyway, so she hands you some rebreathers and stuff like that. So, okay, before you guys get going, is there anything you want to do? So you've heard stuff about, you could, if you've never been to Solitude, you could find out some stuff about Solitude if you want. You could, having found out stuff about Solitude, if you've been to Solitude before, maybe you've already traveled there and you know what a crappy place it is, you might go and get some supplies. Like maybe there's gelatinous pond repellent or something that you can get. Or like, I need to find somebody who's got a flamethrower because trust me, we're going to need flamethrower, stuff like that.
Yeah, notes to gelatinous pond.
So is there any like supplies or anything like that you want to, just starting with Kaylee, do you have any prep that you want to do before you head out?
I mean, we should probably grab some extra supplies.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been to Solitude before? Has Kiska ever been to Solitude before? No. Not her thing. Have you heard about it?
Yes.
Do you know a lot about it?
Nothing other than it's like terrible.
Do you want to find out more?
Sure.
How would you go about doing that?
Check the there's planet itineraries, system itineraries.
Sort of like itineraries. That's that's more of a travel word, like a schedule or something like that. You're looking for like a galactic encyclopedia entry or something like that. That I like this because it indicates the kind of thinking that you have coming from one of the 5 families. Is let's look up something on the Weave and find out what we can find out. And someone like this guy over here is going to be like, no, you go to a spacer bar and you ask spacers to tell you what the planet is like and what you need to do to stay alive. Mm-hmm. You go to an Ironsworn bar or something like that. All right, so I would like
you bring the weapons you think you need.
Okay, so the move that you're looking for, we're gonna look at page, not combat. Where do we want to be here? Oh, adventure moves, page 2. Take a look at page 2. You want to gather information. When you search for clues, ask questions, analyze evidence, or do research, roll wits.
None of us are smart except Caleb.
Well, you're doing that. You're researching stuff. I'm going to look some stuff up on the Weave and see what I can find out about solitude. And she goes to roll wits. Add your wits.
0, a 5, and then my challenge dice are a 4 and a 7, so a weak hit.
Weak hit. Okay. On gather information, on a weak hit, the information provides new insight but also complicates your quest. Envision what you discover, and then take +1 momentum. So your momentum goes up by 1. So you get some new information, something about solitude, but it's also going to make things more complicated. So what is the thing that you learn about?
Landing on the planet is incredibly difficult because any landing pads or any station, any ship landings or anywhere where you would find land, flat enough to safely enter in.
You got to land.
Gets covered, so you have to.
Covered with vines within.
So you're saying the only option is to land at Solitude and travel from there, land in the main city.
And even then, the landing plaids change all the time because of.
Well, and Solitude's I think a dome city or something we said because the otherwise the atmosphere is hallucinogenic and toxic. It isn't someplace where you want people to really hang out. All right, so. And you might need a vehicle.
Yeah.
Some kind of, you might need either when you get there. I mean, there's not going to be any, jungle buggies or anything like that here on this space station. But when you get there, you might need to rent some kind of jungle thing. Because if you have to land at Solitude and then go to the precursor thing, you need some way to get across land that isn't on foot. Okay, Sean, what do you want to do?
I want to go to a bar and see what I can find.
Okay. Have you been to the planet before?
Yes.
Okay. So you're more making preparations than you are finding out information.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to the bar.
Okay.
See if it's changed since last time you've gone.
Okay.
I mean, this is the third we're talking about, of course.
When you assess the situation, make preparations, or attempt to gain some kind of leverage over a situation, you're going to go to a bar. So you're not moving with speed. You're not doing this with speed, mobility, and agility. Resolve, command, sociability? Maybe in social?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to.
So roll and add heart. What's your heart?
1.
Awesome.
All of my characters suck at being social.
All right. So go ahead and roll and add 1 for your awesome heart.
I'm not social.
No, it's a 2 and a 5, so that's not bad. You're adding a 3. You're adding 1 to the 2, so that gives you a what?
A 3.
A 3. So that at least beats you 2.
I know how to maths.
You at least know how to buy people drinks until they start talking. So you got a weak hit on secure and advantage. On a strong hit, you can take both of these. On a weak hit, you can choose one. All right. So here's your options. You get to pick one or the other. You can either take a +2 to your current momentum, or you can keep a +1 on whatever your next roll is. So you can take a +1 on whatever your next roll is going to be, or you can take a +2 to your momentum and bank that for later.
Well, I think I'll take a +1
to your next roll, whatever that happens to be. Okay. So you learn. You got some ideas, some thoughts. It's basically as bad as you heard in the past. That's what you're hearing is that.
And and that one folder that I found is transformed into a lake.
Zoe, hi. What are you going to try and... Are you doing something to prepare for this trip? Find out information, gather some stuff.
Sure, why not?
What's that?
She said, sure, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. You have a thing. There's a check your gear. When you check to see if you have a specific helpful item or a resource, blah, 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 resource, roll plus supply. Now, supply isn't one of your stats. Supply is a stat on the ship.
The computer.
Oh wait, I lied. Supply. Well, yeah, technically it's supply. So, but the thing that's interesting about supply, which is different than health and spirit, is that supply is shared by everybody. So if Zoe's supply goes down, everybody else's supply goes down also. Okay? So, because either you already have the thing, or it's going to cost some stuff and you end up using some of the resources on the ship. Okay? So you're going to roll and you're going to add your supply. What's your supply?
5.
Okay, so you roll your dice and you add 5 onto the 6-sided dice.
Oh, I got 5 plus 6. No.
5 plus a 6-sided dice. You got to see what you roll first. Chicka, 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 roll. Okay, so what'd you roll on the 6? What'd you roll on the 6? A 3. Plus what?
5.
Gives you a what?
8.
All right, what did you get on your challenge dice?
2.
And
2.
you got a match?
Yo.
So that is a strong hit with a match. Okay. On a strong hit, you have the thing you're looking for and you are ready to act. So raise your momentum by 1.
And our supply needs to go down, right?
No. She rolled too well for that to be a problem.
I already had 3 flamethrowers.
Sure, we've got a weapon master who owns the ship. I can't say I'm...
So you go looking for like flamethrowers or something like that in like a couple of the weapon shops on the station. Not that flamethrowers are very commonly sold on space stations because fire is a bad thing on the space station. And when you see them displayed, they're like displayed in their carry crates and you're like looking at those crates going, I recognize that. I've seen one of those before. Hang on, and you go back to the ship and go in through the airlock and go back into the supplies and back into the back of the engine room and you dig and you move a couple of crates and you're like, that's the same crate. Hang on, open it up. It's like,
I have 27 flames.
we already had one. Why do you have, like, you get on the phone, it's like,
I have 5 flamethrowers?
Gap, why do you have 5 flamethrowers?
Excellent question.
It's like, and then Cap answers, I have 5 flamethrowers? Cool.
Yeah, right?
I have 5 flamethrowers? Cool!
In other notes, Gap randomly has weapons. Now, I'm going to look at, so I've got another oracle to look at here. Guys, take a look at this. I got to look at the oracle. So I'm going to grab the oracles page, and because there's an opportunity here too. And it might just be that we have a bunch of flamethrowers, but let's go to Spaceborne opportunity?
Yep,
Kill, you
why?
haven't put your pronouns down yet.
That said, check this one.
Mask safety.
No. Set down. Your doubles. I'm going to actually hand your dice are what caused this up and like doing research and stuff like that and checking out the latest like settlement maps and stuff like that. You find like mentioned at one point in time, like you're looking at basically shipping manifests and looking at all the landing pad things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you're like looking at all these landing pads and figuring out like why they shift around and what the schedule of these things usually is and stuff like that. And you're seeing that just recently, a couple of the ships that have departed have not been departing off planet. They've been departing and their destination is listed with basically like longitude and latitude coordinates. And there's 4 or 5 in a row within the last month or so that are going to the same longitude and latitude coordinates. And you pull up a recent like scan of the planet and punch in those coordinates, and there's a settlement there. Somehow, they've got a settlement. Somebody, and it's public apparently because people are flying there, and it's way closer to where you guys need to go, to the precursor vault you need to go to. So that's going to make life a lot simpler. You could probably land at Solitude to try to find a buggy, But then you could pick up the ship and fly back over to the thing. Mm-hmm. So having found this out is actually going to help you. So we're going to go to the progress that we have here. Oops, we got to go back to the...
Do we mark progress?
Yeah, so I'm going to go back over here to where we're tracking our progress for rescuing the Founder Clan idiots from the precursor vault on Solitude, because we are going to mark that we can get closer to the vault than normal, than we were expecting.
Oh!
So this opportunity is actually going to count as progress towards your thing. All right, so the ship, everybody's aboard the caboodle, and you'll now we just get on the nicely charted, easy path from Pinnacle Station over to Solitude.
There is none.
There is none. Right. So instead, we have to look at a different way of traveling. We cannot set a course because there is no course to set. There's no proper course to set. Instead, what we have to do is we have to undertake an expedition. Who's going to undertake the expedition?
I mean, you're in Kayla's shoes.
I'm not worried about being in Kelly's shoes. That's fine.
It's your ship.
It's your ship. Are you a she, her, Kelly?
Yes.
She, her. All right. So the move, I'm just pulling it up here so we can all see it. Under the exploration moves, undertake an expedition. Take a look at it. It's on page 4.
Yes.
It's on page 4. You trailblaze a route through perilous space or journey to a precursor vault.
I have a feeling we're going to be using this move a lot.
This move comes up shockingly often. Yes, that is accurate.
Which one are we on?
Sass!
Right up at the
Try
top.
to survive the trip.
Okay, undertake an expedition. When you trailblaze a route through perilous space, journey over hazardous terrain, survey a mysterious site, give the expedition a name and a rank. We're going to go back over to the ship, and we're going to do a progress thing for the trip. Survive.
Really unexplored. Just
It's
not.
It's uncharted. It's literally uncharted. Any planets that we find here won't have been charted before. And there is no route charted. So, uncharted space.
Sass!
Is it troublesome? Is it difficult? Is it formidable? How tough are we going to make the actual getting to Solitude?
I think it's difficult.
Difficult? All right, that's fine. So we're going to go back over to the caboodle. We set the difficulty at difficult, or the challenge at difficult, which means every time that we
Actually
complete...
dangerous.
Well, dangerous, fine. Every time we mark progress, we fill in 2 boxes. Okay? Survive to Solitude? All right. Undertake the expedition. We give the expedition a rank. The rank is dangerous. Then, for each segment of the expedition, envision your approach. Sean, are we moving fast, trying to keep under the radar, or staying vigilant and being careful? And I want to be specific about this. You roll different stats on which thing you're doing. So
we're either being swift or we're being careful.
So speed, you roll edge. If you're keeping under the radar, you roll shadow. And if you stay vigilant, you roll wits.
I think we're moving swift.
Moving quick?
Vroom vroom!
All right. Now, question. Is anybody going to help him by... What are you going to do?
I think sitting with him at the control center and just helping out with the navigation.
So I'm going to have you roll secure. I'm going to have you roll secure an advantage.
Which is where
secure an advantage. I'll just tell you what to roll. You're rolling, and you're going to add your wits because you're using expertise, focus, and observation by charting these. What the next safe jump would be. Okay. Is that not good?
It's 1.
Okay, so I rolled a 1, add 2, 3, but I rolled a 3 and an 8, so I didn't.
What's your momentum at?
3.
That's not enough. All right, so when you assess the situation, make a say on a miss, you fail or your assumptions betray you, pay the price. Okay. So I'm gonna look at
Now pay the price.
Pay up.
Produces a new hazard. Interesting. Okay, so Sean, here's what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you roll the Are you moving with speed? Okay, roll and add your edge.
I tried to help.
Yeah, what you found out is that there's a lot of hazards between here and there, which is probably going to complicate the first waypoint.
So thanks.
So the way the jumps work is each jump it takes a few hours, and then imagine like going across space faster than light by like skipping a stone, and every little hop gets you a little bit closer to where you're trying to go. So you're doing this in little hops as you go. Okay.
It's basically.
So this is the first jump, and you land at a new anchorage and take stock of where you are, and we figure out where we're at. So you roll and add 3. Is your edge 3?
No, it's 2.
What's your 3 stat?
Iron.
Oh, iron. All right. So, okay.
I
So,
got a 3.
you got a 3, adding what?
2.
Okay.
So that's a 5. Then I beat both of them.
That's a 4 and a 2. Nice. Okay. On a strong hit, you reach a waypoint, envision the location, and mark progress. So this is a system that hasn't been settled. It gets randomly generated, so sort of like a procedurally generated number, like a number lettering system to keep the numbering unique, but nobody's bothered to say, we would like to like settle in this system and own it, and as a result, name it. Okay, and some places don't even want to do that. They'll just keep the original designation. But in this case, you can sort of assume, to a certain extent, you're coming into a system that, Uncharted. That's what we said over and over, right? This whole situation, like you're coming into Uncharted mode. Circling around it and firing weapons is this thing.
Do we recognize like the ship's colors or their symbols or anything?
Why don't you gather information and see if you do that? Now,
Can I make up a name?
This ship.
I was meaning like type or something.
Oh, this is like a small like stunt fighter craft.
So like 1987 Stinger. What was that doing?
1987 Stinger. Commonly used for like planetary defense, defense for mining operations, and also frequently used or stolen secondhand and used by raiders.
So
okay.
Most likely a raider ship.
Yeah. What you have here, what it looks like at a glance. Now I want you to gather information if you want. That would be you doing gather information.
Hey, I want to do this.
Analyze evidence or do research. You can.
I'm rolling wits, right?
Yeah. So you're rolling wits. Yeah, you're just rolling wits to see what you get.
Okay, 5 on the die, so add 2, 7, and then the challenger 5 and 2, so a full hit.
Full hit, nice. Okay, that is gathering information. On a strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn, and then take +2 momentum. Do you have any ideas about what you're learning out that works you advance here? Slide your momentum up by 2.
I mean, maybe that like supply ship is like a
Definitely
systematic supply ship that like goes through the whole system or something.
Nope. It is a mining ship. So it's a kind of ship that lands, and then it's got like all these interior modules here are meant for storing. They're like fold out so you can store ore or whatever it is that they're calling. Everything in here is basically modular and folds open to store stuff. So this thing right now on both sides, the good news is this thing can probably take a pretty good hit because the entire thing is basically full of dirt because it's full of ore. It's basically full of rock. So but it's also going to steer like a pig on ice.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's got no maneuverability whatsoever. And this thing, the Stinger is actually quite maneuverable. Not durable. It's a bit flimsy. Can't take much in the way of hits, but it's so hard to hit that doesn't usually end up being much of a problem.
So
If you should ask
question, I don't know if this counts as like my question, but it does like would we still technically have like the element of surprise if we decided to, quickly just shoot the raider ship as we exit this jump here?
Yeah, you would.
Okay.
Whether or not that's going to be enough, who knows? You're at quite a long range, but a warning shot might be enough to drive the thing off.
So that's far up to you to be.
And advantageous.
Yeah, advantageous. And it's reflected mechanically in the fact that your momentum is up, so you have a better chance of being able to get the roll to go your way.
Okay.
Saying I've got an advantage of surprise and stuff like that, in a game like D&D or something like that, you'd like, okay, now you're acting with surprise. You get to do double damage, or you get a +1 to hit, or something. It isn't really how it works.
Yeah.
Here. You get the mechanics, but your momentum is definitely flowing your direction. Do you want Sass's advice on this situation, like with scanning and stuff like that, Sean?
Sass, take it away.
Okay, so secure an advantage. So there's a move you can do with SAS. Okay, this is why you bought the thing, right? And this is true. Everybody can take advantage of anything that's going on with this, like any assets that are part of the ship. Sean bought this, but everybody can take advantage of it. Your AI module keeps watch over the vehicle's systems and sensor data. When you secure an advantage by talking through a situation with the overseer, you may roll, and instead of adding one of your stats, you add the ship's integrity, which is a 5 right now, unless it takes damage. If you do, and you get a hit, you take an additional point of momentum, which is pretty useful. Okay, is that cool? So what you can do here is you can roll secure an advantage, get SAS to like basically give you the lowdown on everything that you've got going on here. Mark down trajectories, all that kind of good stuff. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Sass, which weapon would be best for taking this down? Unibeam or the turrets?
Well, if you're just talking about a warning shot, really anything will work. Unibeam's going to take enough time to charge up that you may lose the element of surprise. So I would go with turrets. If I were, a murderous human-killing AI that was going to go rogue and shoot a bunch of people, which of course I am not. So I would not take any shots at all. I would simply ask politely for them to leave the system. So I'm going to have you roll and add 5 for adding the ship's integrity. The capoodle integrity.
Which is 5.
Which is 5.
So basically, I'm pretty certain that this is going to be a victory.
Don't say things like that.
Yeah, I just do.
I have added 5 and gotten full failures before.
Oh, this.
Usually when you roll a 1. In fact, you just managed to roll a failure.
Wait. But I had 5 and
You have to beat it. You can't just match it.
So that's a 5 against a 6 and a 7. 6 doesn't beat a 6. It's just tied. Things that you never say in Starforged or Ironsworn before you roll is, I am assured of victory. So that's on secured advantage on miss. You fail or your assumptions betrayed. Pay the price. All right. So I have an idea for this.
I love how one paying the price led into another paying the price. This seems like it's going well for us.
Really? Oh, here we go. I did the wrong. I always feel like pay the price should be under an oracle thing, but apparently not. No. Your action causes collateral damage or has an unintended effect. She's like, all right, I'm checking out their configuration to see what sort of their energy. They apparently have detected my scanning. We have missiles incoming. That is missiles incoming.
Fire up the shields!
Now, before the missiles actually get there, like anywhere near you, this is what I want you to imagine. So, like, there's a big white flash, but it's nowhere near the ship, and the ship doesn't rock or anything like that. But she's like, they appear to be coming. Oh, it looks like the missiles are, because the flash goes off, and she goes, and all the lights in the ship go off.
You hear from a distance, you always have to make my life just a little bit more difficult. Shut up!
Do you want to try to get the ship back online and do a repair? Because apparently you just got hit with an EMP pulse. That took the electronics offline. All right, so you need to roll, and repair is rolling plus wits.
I've got a 2 on wits.
That's not bad.
So do you.
I'm dumb.
No, you're just not good at technical stuff.
Please.
You're very smart when it comes to being
4!
Plus your wits of a...
6! Ow!
You are very, very bad.
The lights are starting to come back onto the system. You're just hitting a bunch of switches and stuff. And at one point in time, you're just hitting a bunch of stuff. And you realize after you were hitting, like the screen starts to come up and you're like, confirm. And you realize that there were a couple of menus in there that you selected strange things. Like you're thinking afterwards, like, what did I just say yes to? And SAS starts to come back up and kind of glitches. It's like...
Sass or headless.
Hola. Por español, marque número 2.
Sass, you're Spanish!
Hola.
Sass, you're Spanish!
She's just rattling off other stuff, and she's like talking like, she's gesticulating and talking and clearly understands what you're saying, but whatever she's saying, whatever language, I'm saying Spanish because that's the one thing I actually know how to say, but she's rattling off language that you don't speak,
also in a very low masculine voice. So it's like it's still the redhead. It's still.
Are you sure that this is your ship?
It's it's still sass, but it's like hola. Por español, marque número 2. Esperanto, marque número 3.
Sass, you're Spanish. Your language module is
Bad.
broke, I think. Your language module is set to the wrong thing. Can you set yourself back to English?
No hablas inglés.
No hablo inglés. No hablo you. I don't speak you. Hey, dude, you rolled that. All right, so right now your AI is offline. Not offline, just unhelpful.
Not believe that this is your ship.
Well, I wanted an event, so
Clearly, you did not take time to get familiar with how to run a ship.
I'm going to say that you are...
It's a rusty mess.
Sean, I'm going to say that you are shaken right now because you're having a rough time. What that does is it lowers the maximum number of points that you can have in momentum by 1 until you clear off the shaken. We're going to worry about that a little bit. It doesn't lower your momentum. It just does that. All right. You would like to... so I'm going to do kind of a weird thing here. I'm going to have you roll... I'm going to have you roll edge, but you're going to do it for a different purpose. You're going to do a compel.
Compel what?
Actually, what's your iron at, Kaylee?
My iron is a 1.
You're not that.
So you're doing a threaten, but you're not doing it. You're doing it at range. So I'm going to have you roll edge. Roll edge, and we're rolling this on a compel.
I just did a matched failure.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 1, but adding 3, that's a 4, but I rolled double 6s.
Oh my God!
No,
Give me-
no. Yes.
So you fire off the thing, and you're like, so tell me the threat. Tell me the ultimatum that you throw down on these goobers.
I have to think. I think we're in a very threatening position.
Well, you fire off the shot. It's fine. It's and you kind of do a little arc past them, throwing the turrets out there, and then you're like, what do you say? We don't need to fight you, but we do need you to go away, kind of something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever you say, though. Tell me.
Attacking this ship is a very bad plan. We just want to move through the sector. We can all leave this unharmed and undamaged.
So you're doing this thing, and it's like, you just need to get out of here kind of thing. And over the comms, all you hear is, and right then, 2 more of these things come in through the loop, like, are come in through the drift.
Can we get Sass away? Can we get Sass, not Spanish, please?
I
need your help to read it.
Yes, if you'd like to, then you need to. Then you should probably try to do another repair, or go back through the.
Try not to turn our German.
Now wait, do you want to get some help?
You haven't done anything, so help me do something.
What do I do?
You help me switch.
Okay, so
You help me mix.
what you're going to do is you're going to aid your ally, and that means
You help me make Sass American.
you're going to roll.
Okay, I already
Are you trying to? Can you get your character sheet up where I can see it, please? So you guys are working through all the menus trying to get SAS back online. Are you working quickly and using Edge?
No,
Are you?
I'm not working that quick.
Well, that's your best option, considering that your other option would be wits. Do you
And
want to
I'm
use a wit?
super dumb.
You're not. No, you're not. You just have a low number in that one. You're not. I need you guys to let that go because regular people out in the universe have like zeros for this or negative numbers. You are not dumb. You are just. This is not your strongest stat. But you would prefer not to be using wits. If you work fast, you get to roll edge. Would you rather roll edge?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so roll and add your edge to the roll.
Like add it to my 6.
Yes. Okay, 6 against what?
1 and a 0.
Oh, a 0 is a 10.
A 1 and a 10.
Okay, so you beat 1, so you got a medium hit, a weak hit. So you can do 2 things. You can give Sean, it doesn't benefit you. You can give Sean 2 momentum, or you can give him a +1 on his next roll. You forgot to take a +1 on your roll Remember how you had a +1 for your next roll?
Well, okay, now I have +2 for my next roll.
Do you want to give him a +1 on his next roll? Or do you want to give him more momentum?
+1.
Add wits.
Okay.
And then 2 for that. So you're adding a total. What's your wits at? 2?
Mm-hmm.
Add a total of 4 for this one since we missed the bonuses before.
I need a new sass.
What'd you get? What did
4
you?
and a 3.
How do you spell it?
Okay.
And
So-
then I got an 8. I beat it completely. Look at me. Can I get sass back on right now?
Yes, you go back through the menus and basically reload everything. Sass disappears for a second. And as you're about to hit the wrong thing, she's quickly going through all of the menus really quick. And you're like, no, not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. Not the default. Up one. Yes, that one. Also, and go down, go down, go down. Yes, that voice, not Miguel. Why would we?
Who's Miguel?
That's apparently the default voice that gets loaded when you. So he selected. He's having you select the right stuff. And we are going to go back over here.
Sass is back to blue. Sass is back to English.
We're going to be doing something new and exciting.
I know something.
It's called Enter the Fray. When you initiate combat or are forced into a fight, envision your objective and give it a rank. If the combat includes discrete challenges or phases, set an objective with a rank for each. We're not going to do that. Then roll to see if you're in control. If you are on the move, roll plus your edge. If you're facing off against your foe and trying to protect somebody, roll hard. If you're in the thick of it at close quarters, you roll plus iron. If you're preparing to act against an unaware foe, you roll plus shadow. That's definitely not the case. If you're caught in a trap or sizing up the situation, roll wits. Going to have to roll wits on this one, I'm afraid, because you're caught in a trap. Want any help on this?
Oh, yes. We need your full brain power of this team.
Because
Right.
that the person helping you can also make it worse, right?
No,
Yeah,
you might get complications for yourself, but generally speaking, you don't make it worse for the other
I
person.
can help.
You make the shush. You already helped him, so hang on. You make the situation sometimes you make the overall situation worse, but you're not going to hand him a penalty. How about that? Does that make sense?
Well, that's what I was talking about, the overall situation.
You might make it more complicated, but the numbers are still the numbers. Do you want somebody to help?
Yes, I want somebody to help.
All right. So you could while he's trying to move into the situation, you're while he's trying to figure out what to even do with the ship and get the thing moving and stuff like that, you're providing cover fire by just trying to keep him moving and keeping him off you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really trying to do damage as such. You're just trying to do that. So why don't you secure an advantage with aggression? Maybe?
Which probably means I'm rolling iron.
You're
right?
probably rolling iron, but you only need to get a weak hit to help him out a little bit.
I rolled a 1, but the challenge dice were a 1 and a 6, but I have a +1, so technically I rolled a 2, so mid-hit.
Oh, one of your opposing dice was a 1?
Mhm.
Nice. All right.
I double-checked to make sure it wasn't a 7.
All right. So, Sean,
Yes.
more to the point, Kayla, do you want +1 over to Sean or a +2 to the momentum?
I'll give
Sure.
him momentum.
Okay. Move your momentum up to a 4.
All
right. So you're still rolling. You are rolling and adding +2 for wits.
Survive?
No.
What's that roll? 3 + 2 is 5. What'd you get on the other dice?
4 and 5.
4 and 5. So that's a weak hit. All right. Wrong.
Wait. Yeah, I got 5.
So let's look at the move up here on the screen so we can look at it this way. We are in combat, entering the fray. You entered it with caught in a trap or sizing up the situation, rolling plus wits. On the strong hit, take both. On a weak hit, choose one. You can take +2 momentum, or you are in control.
What does that mean?
So certain moves, I'll tell you right now, you want to be in control. Certain moves, there's different sets of moves that you have when you're in a fight, and some of them are ones that open up when you're in control of the fight, and some of them are only available, and some of them become unavailable to you when you are not in control and you are what the game calls a bad spot. So the question is, do you want to begin the fight in a bad spot, or do you want to begin the fight in control?
I want to begin it in control.
Okay.
Sass! Fire the missiles!
many weapons does this ship have?
Oh, I'm a weapon master. My ship is the same thing.
So I'll give you an example of some of the combat moves here. We're going to take a look at these really quick. Gain ground is when you're in control and take action in a fight to reinforce your position or move towards an objective, envision your approach and roll. And this tells you what you get to do, but you can only use gain ground when you're in control. If you have to do something else where you're just trying to like get control of the situation or you're trying to maneuver or whatever, and you aren't in control, you have to react under fire. Gain ground is I'm in control and I'm trying to like improve my situation even further. If I'm reacting under fire, I'm just trying to not get my ship shot up. Okay. Striking is what you get to do when you're in control and you assault a flow at close quarters and you get to do lots of damage and there's not really a chance of getting hurt back. Clashing is what you do when you are not in control and you're trying to do damage.
Can I strike?
You can't. Well, everybody needs to roll their own enter the fray. So everyone's doing it a little bit. Everyone's doing it. Kelly, yes, you also need to enter the fray. So we go back over to the move here. Roll to see if you're in control. If you're like basically moving quickly, roll plus edge. If you're trying to draw all their attention to you, roll plus heart. In the thick of it at close quarters, that's probably not appropriate in this case, roll plus iron. Preparing to act against, well, Sean could theoretically do that if he charged the ship straight at him, but preparing to act against an unaware foe, you don't get to roll shadow, or caught in a trap or sizing up the situation. You could theoretically also roll plus heart if you wanted to, if you were like, I'm just going to try and get all their attention on that.
That's not going to
Wits
happen.
probably makes the most sense.
Wits probably makes the most sense.
I'm just gonna roll wits then. 'Cause
Okay.
My wits are the same, so.
Oh, wits and heart are the same? Cool.
Okay.
Well, that's a 1
challenge
on the one of the challenges.
6. 1 and 9. Right. And then I rolled a 5. So.
Okay. Do you want to be in control or do you want to have +2 momentum? In control means you get to use strike instead of clash.
Yeah, I'd like to be in control.
Okay, Zoe, what are you going to do to help? Are you going to jump back into the back and do repairs, or do you not even know how that works? Are you going to help Sean with piloting so that if he needs to, Gap can go run and do repairs and stuff like that?
Sean and Gap are the same thing.
I know. I'm just switching the names around. Do you want to help with the piloting and the maneuvering and stuff like that, or do you want to jump in another gun turret and start shooting? You can get like a hold of the missile turrets, the missile turret controls and stuff that are right there on the bridge of the ship. So you can just drop down into the thing and start picking and start identifying pilots for the missile, like tapping the screen and identifying missiles or targets for the missiles to lock onto. Okay. All right. So I need you to roll, and I'm going to have you roll and add your wits for this as well to see if you're in control or because this is the entering the fight. You're not shooting yet. You're just getting into the fight, and if you're ready for
So
this.
I'm adding my wits right now.
Yes. Roll and add your wits. You will learn to love. I mean, you were rolling your eyes at getting a weak hit, but you will learn to love a weak hit because you know what a weak hit is?
Not a failure?
It's not a failure.
6 plus 1 is 7. And then no. Challenge dice are 2 and 4.
2 and 4. What did you get?
On the 6-sided dice, I got 6.
Plus 1.
Plus 1 is 7.
And what were the 2 challenge dice?
2 and 4.
Okay, so you got a full success. You're not only in control, you've got both in control and 2 momentum, which is good for you. The nice thing about the whole basic situation is that, like, yeah, the failures lead to more rolls and stuff like that. So you might end up in a situation where the failures lead to more failures. But the upside is, like, we know exactly what's happening next because everything's being, like, kind of like when you get a snowball rolling downhill causing an avalanche, you know which direction you're going. Downhill quickly. So, I mean, the nice thing is we at least know what's going on, right? All right. Sean.
Me!
You are, I'm going to minimize this. All right, so you are in control. All 3 of you are in control. This is pretty awesome. So we're going to do a quick roundabout here. You've got moves to choose from. You might want to go with gain ground. When you're in control and take action in a fight to reinforce your position or move towards an objective, envision your approach and roll. If you're in pursuit, fleeing, or maneuvering, you roll plus edge. If you're charging boldly into action, coming to the aid of others, negotiating, or commanding, you roll plus heart. If you're gaining leverage with force, powering through, or making some kind of threat, you roll plus iron.
If you're hiding, preparing an ambush, or misdirecting, roll plus shadow. You're probably not doing that. If you're coordinating a plan, studying a situation, or cleverly gaining leverage, roll plus wits. So if you're coordinating everybody, you roll plus wits. If you're gaining leverage with force by like basically charging at them with the ship or something, you'd roll plus iron.
It's time to force my way into a good position.
So they come out of the thing and you're firing cover and the thing and like, I'm back online, sir. Are you ready to flee?
Oh, heck no! I'm gonna shoot at them. Charge up the unibeam. Shut up.
Shouting over your shoulder, calling, get the missiles ready! It's gonna be right close. It's gonna be short range. Like, short range? Aren't you trying to get distance away from them?
Oh, heck no.
Accelerate. All right, so roll and add iron, Sean. Ooh, that's a 1 on 1 of the challenge dice. That's good for you.
And a 5. And I got a 3. Add 3. 6. I completely beat their butts.
Okay, so on a hit, you stay in control. On a strong hit, you can choose 2 of these. All right? You get 3 options, but you need to choose. Okay? You can mark progress on the fight. So you're progressing towards success in the fight. You can take a bonus, a +2 to your momentum. So raise your momentum by another 2 points. And you add +1, or you can choose to add +1 to your next move. So +1 to your next move, mark progress on the fight, +2 momentum, choose 2.
+1 momentum.
But you're not going to make progress on the fight?
+1 in momentum.
All right, +1 in momentum.
It'll give me a better chance.
All right, he's pulling the ship around, Kaylee. He's swinging the ship around and the turrets are coming, bringing, he's basically charging straight at them. It's kind of like this when you've got a gun and you're like,
I'm going to strike, and I'm going to use my thing. On gunner, when you strike, choose 1 before rolling. I'm going to make them hurt, which is going to mark progress on a hit.
I mean, technically what this thing says is when you're wielding a heavy ranged personal weapon. I do not care. Go right ahead.
Well, it just says...
It's F at the top of the description, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. Use it for this. I like...
9.
You rolled a 9 on your
but my
dice?
challenge dice was a 1 and a 10, so mixed success. But I hit, so I'm on progress.
So you're rolling strike. When you are in control and assault a foe at close quarters.
Assault the water.
Oh, sorry. When you attack at distance, roll plus edge. On the strong hit, mark progress twice. No. On a weak hit, mark progress twice, but you expose yourself to danger. You are in a bad spot.
And would that be an option if she just got success?
She got a weak hit, so she gets to do her damage, but she doesn't stay in control. This is how the progression works. When you are in a fight and you roll, if you don't get a strong hit, you are automatically not in control anymore. You don't even get to pick. You just aren't in control anymore. So Kaylee's lost that advantage of being in control. She's still, now I'll point this out. So we have this progress thing over here.
Sorry,
right?
You're going to mark it 3 times.
Yes, that is correct. Thank you for stealing my thunder. Jeez. So we look here at the fight the raiders, and she gets to, as long as she got any kind of hit, it says right here, on a weak hit, mark progress strike. So I go mark. But she has gunner, which lets her say, if I get any hit at all, I get to mark another piece of progress. So she's like, and one of the ships explodes. A lot of return fire happening. And lacing across the top of the ship. And you're in a turret, which is not a great place to be.
You're in a turret? Like in a turret?
Yeah, she's in like the gun turret, like shooting.
Yeah, she's been absorbed.
Okay, now he's zooming in on the thing, tearing in. You've picked out all the targets. One of them just disappeared because Kiska just blew it up. One of the reasons I love that as a thing is like one of my favorite movies, starring Robert Downey Jr., is called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I've heard about it.
Yeah. Which makes it for a fun nickname for you. Anyway, all right. So Zoe, you also get to strike. So you need to roll, and you're adding your edge. What is your edge? A 2. Do your thing. Roll. Ooh, are those double 9s? Mm-hmm. Oh my lord, that's not great. Look on her face. It isn't.
So that's a 5 against double 9s. Oh my god. When you're in control and the solid float coast grows, roll plus iron. When you attack at distance, roll plus edge. On a miss, the fight turns against you. You're in a bad spot and must pay the price.
What's the price?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Want to go to an orchestra and listen to an hour of sad tuba players?
Randomly roll on the oracle. Your vehicle suffers damage. Awesome.
It's not my vehicle, so...
You're in it, and if it gets a crack in space, you're going to care. Okay.
Consequences.
Okay, stop. Oh no, it's the consequences of my actions. All right, the move is, stop. Okay, so the move is under the suffer moves.
Oh no.
Withstand damage. When your vehicle faces a damaging situation, suffer. So like the shots are blasting along the top of the ship. On a miss, it's worse than you thought. Suffer additional integrity or lose momentum. Zoe, do you want to lose momentum or have the ship take more damage?
How much momentum?
2. Okay. So, all right, one of the ships goes up. The missiles are like, you're trying to do missile lock. Actually, the missiles don't even fire. She's like, they won't. They say it's too close to arm. I can't fire the missiles, which is what you were counting on. And then the shots come in from one direction, so you're redirecting the shields to shield from this guy. But the other guy that was down with the mining ship comes in from behind and like laces you all along the underside of your ship. It's just bah, 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 bah. So the integrity on the ship goes down to. It should have gone down to 2, but she took the momentum hit, so the integrity is at 3. So she took some of the momentum hit, so it doesn't all take the ship. So it doesn't all hit the ship.
Sass is Unibeam charged?
The Unibeam is charged. If you're ready to fire it, the Unibeam is ready. I'm very invested in you not blowing me up and scattering my atoms across the universe. So by all means, fire at will. And we're going to stop right there. So here's where we're going to pause, and I'm going to say it here at the end so that we know where we are. Okay? We are one step into the journey.
And we're already getting messed up.
I mean, that's stuff.
If this happens every time.
So we are one jump into the journey to Solitude. We have you guys immediately left in to rescue a miner because you're heroes. Good job. The fight is going on. You actually have quite a bit of progress on the fight thanks to
Kaylee being amazing.
Kiska's yeah. Nice. Were you pointing at Sean or doing this? I don't even know which one it was. Pointing at Sean and doing that. So it's like a dab it's like a chin dab with a point.
Chin dab.
Boom. Also, hello.
Hello.
All right. So yeah, thanks to that, good. But and this is the important thing I wanted to sum up. Right now in the fight, you stop making noise. Right now in the fight, Gap, Lowl he is in control in his portion of the fight. Both Kaylee and Zoe are in a bad spot.
Mm-hmm. Correcto.
Worth it.
What's that?
Correct.
Worth it. I mean, you got a good shot. And you can still do damage with Clash. The trick with Clash is there's consequences to face even on a weak hit. With Strike, there are no consequences on anything other than a miss. Is the important thing is the cool thing about that. So it's nice when you're in control, because the worst thing that happens when you're in control is that you're probably only going to lose your control advantageous position. All right.
Oh,
so
really? Because that's not what Zoe did.
Zoe rolled a miss with a match, and her pay the price was great. All right. With that, we'll stop. We'll gather up. We're not going to wander off. We're going to gather up all of our things.
First official session of Fufspace. We're in a fight and losing.
I mean, I wouldn't say you're losing.
Hey, I take personal offense to that.
I don't think you're losing. I think you're feeling the pain of the fight. You guys actually have really good stats for these kind of fights. She's got a 2 edge. You've got an edge of 2. Your iron is good. Her edge is a 3. You actually have excellent stats for this. It's just right now it's a little challenging. Don't put the red one in. The other 2. The red one won't fit. I don't think. Let me see. Yeah, look at that. Put it in there. All right. Thank you, guys. I'm pleased that we're able to do this. How's it feel? How's the game feel? Like system-wise and stuff. A lot of stuff happening?
Yes, that's
One last thing. Wait, come back here and sit down. Okay, let me see the thing so you can check it. That is...
Oh, we have.
That's very disturbing. I'm gonna keep
We have an Ultra Tour.
All right, sit down. I need you guys to understand something. The game works differently. So the thing that is important for you guys to understand, I want to bring it up on your sheets here so you can see it. But it's also important for you you can see it on your sheets. You see, if you look on like in the middle of your sheet here, it looks just like this: the quests, the bonds, and the discoveries. You see this thing. What's interesting about this game, as opposed to Ironsworn, how do you get experience points in Ironsworn? Do you remember?
Doing stuff.
And completing vows. When you complete a vow, you get XP. It's not quite that simple in Starforged. You'll see that there are 3 different tracks for this stuff. And one is quests, and one is bonds, and one is discoveries. So here's how this works. You can get experience points for finishing vows to people and stuff, just like you can in Ironsworn. But you get fewer of them because there's actually 3 different ways to do it. So if you finish quests, you get XP. Every time you form a relationship and turn that relationship from a connection into a bond, you get XP, okay? And every time you make a discovery about how the universe works, you get XP when you finish up a box. So every time you do one of these expeditions, so Dangerous gives you 2 ticks on discoveries because you learned something about the universe by figuring out how to chart a path, okay? So what's interesting about this game, I think it's important for you guys to understand, is the game doesn't just reward you for fighting stuff and finishing quests like an MMO. You get XP for forging bonds with other people. You get XP for exploring the universe and learning things about it, and you get XP for helping other people and doing Ironsworn quests and stuff with them. It's the whole thing together. But it's really, really cool because it's a thing where you could decide that your whole thing was just building a community and forging bonds with people, and you could literally just level from doing that. It's pretty cool. Anyway, all right, I'm going to stop now. Thanks, guys. I hope we get to play again soon.